Alrighty, so for the first time in quite some time, I am bringing back the community tier list. Now, the reason why is because you guys wanted this, right? For the last, I want to say, month since I've stopped doing it, I kept getting comments in a lot of my videos saying, when are you going to bring back the community tier list? When is it getting updated? And I thought I made it clear that I wasn't going to do it no more, but I guess a lot of people want it only because it's a community based opinion, I want to say, right? So the tier list that we have, the community actually decides where the character is ranked, and I guess that's more, I want to say, acceptable for players rather than just going to other places where it's like one person's opinion or something like that, right? So it makes sense, but we're gonna do it, I guess, again from now on for all the characters and stuff like that. I'm not reverting back to my old content, right? I got a comment like that. No, I'm not reverting back to my old content, but if you guys want this and it's quite important to you guys, then I'm gonna bring it back. So make sure you guys subscribe, like, and you know, all that good stuff. So we do have 4 characters to rank. Yeah, we also grown, so like I said, for anybody who's new, if you haven't participated in one of these all these rankings are based on what the community decided, right? So you can pause it and take a look at it if you want. But we have 4 new characters, right? We have D, Privaty, Aid, and then we also have Elegg. Let's do it in order because I ranked them in, or I did the post in order. So the first thing first is Privaty, right? So we got 8.2 thousand votes. Privaty was ranked S tier, right? In SS, she had 24% of the votes. In S tier, she had 62% of the votes. In A to B, she had 12%. And then to C to, I put B, but C to D, she had 2%. And the community voted that S tier, which honestly, I agree with. I don't think she is SS only because she still needs other characters to fully be good, right? And I say that because it's like, here, this is what I'm saying, right? You don't need to have Tove and Leona. You definitely do not need to have Tove and Leona for this character's kit. This is per rare. You don't need to have Tove and Leona, right? She can work without them, but it's just better to have them because clearly that's what they were going with, right? Tove and Leona only exist for shotguns and for this character, right? They dropped Tove, they dropped Leona, and then they finally dropped the shotgun character that literally uses or needs what both of those two provides, right? So the attack speed, the crit rate, crit damage, max ammo capacity, and then also like the pellets and stuff like that. Those characters give you all the stuff that Privaty's asking for, right? So that's the only reason why I'm going to give her the S. That's just too much, right? To have 2 characters. Not only that, Tove, Leona, and Privaty are all characters that you need to actually fully invest into, right? So it's really holding her from that SS. So honestly, I would have also accepted A. If you want me to be honest, I'm gonna put her in low S, right? This is not ranked in order, by the way, for anybody new. This is not ranked in order, but we're gonna give her the low S only because there's just too much things for this character, right? She's good even if you don't have Tove and Leona, I feel like, but this character is just too much behind her, right? She does have a really good burst skill. 1000% of final attack is damage AoE. That's very good, right? A pretty big crit rate and a pretty good or crit damage and attack buff, right? Pretty good. So yeah, I'm gonna just give her the S tier because that's the community wants, obviously. And yeah, so next up we have Aid, I believe, and Aid on the tier list here, right? It says we have 7,000 votes. 10% put SS to S, which is just, I don't know how, right? A to B, 22%, C 58%, D 9%. Now the one thing about these tier lists is that this is not, again, a tier list is going to always be a tier list at the end of the day. I need you guys to understand that, right? A tier list is going to be a tier list at the end of the day. Even if there are thousands of people voting here, clearly not everybody's in their right mind, right? 10% for Aid is quite crazy, right? And that 10% isn't because she's good, it's because of her looks, right? Like because of how Aid looks, 10% people voted for that. Or, you know, some of those people are just trolls. So it makes sense, right? Like a tier list is still going to be, you know, how it is at the end of the day. You can't have everybody participate properly, right? Not every single person who voted is voting in the right state of mind. But she did end up going to C tier, which I agree with, right? D tier could have worked fine for me too. She really isn't that good. One thing that I would have really said, like I would have liked about her, is if she can cleanse the silence mechanic on the enemies in story, right? Do you know that I don't know the name, but the boss that comes in and it starts shooting those little minions out of it, and when they come out, your whole team is silenced. You cannot use a burst skill. It says that she cannot stop those. Those cannot like be cleansed or anything like that. So her whole thing is this debuff thing, right? Her whole thing is that she gives all allies the debuff immunity, and she can give them up to 2, right, for down near the entire game. And it's like, it's cool, but right now it's just debuffs in this game are not a threat to no one. They're not a threat, clearly. And the one that is a big threat is the one that cannot be cleansed. So yeah, there's no point. The attack buff is weak, right? The max HP buff is cool, right? From both her second skill and her, maybe that's the only reason why she's going in C tier, right? Because her max HP buff, right, based off the caster's max HP, quite big. 25% and 15% max HP buff after 120 normal attacks for 5 seconds, and then also a 10-second buff. And these also don't restore your HP, so that's good for someone like 2B. You're not going to use her with 2B, but yeah, no. C is where she goes. C is where she goes. Now for Elegg. In Elegg, we had 8.1 thousand votes. The 18% voted from SS to S, 68% voted A, 10% voted B, and 4% voted C to D, right? And A is a tier that me personally I would agree with, right? Now again, if I'm just saying I agree with it and stuff like that, but even if I disagree, I'm not gonna like move them to another tier. It's not my tier list, it's the community's tier list. I'm just giving my opinion because I'm part of the community. But A tier I will give her. Now again, this is not ranked in order, so her being down here isn't because she's the worst in A. It's just to simply like, if they're a high A character, I'll generally put them up here. But if they're not, they're just like in there, right? I do like Elegg, but my thing for her is that she only helps out 2 characters, right? The only thing that she has that I feel like is actually helping out everybody is definitely the projectiles. That's really good for bosses, and then the 100% gauge, right? Those are the only things I feel like she's helping everybody with, right? She does give all allies an attack buff as well when you're in the boom effect, right? But you don't really feel that. But the projectiles you definitely feel, the gauge you definitely feel, right? Those are what she's helping. But you're putting her on the team to buff up Dorothy. That's really it, right? She helps out 2B as well. Not 2, well, she does help out 2B, but I meant Scarlet, the Black Shadow Scarlet. She helps her out too, but you're only putting her on the team to buff up Dorothy. So it doesn't really make sense for her to go anything higher than A, because not that she's bad, it's just like right now her real purpose is to help out like 2 characters, and these 2 characters were already the best characters in the game, so they definitely did not need the support, but it's like appreciated type, you know. So A tier is fine. Now this next one is going to hurt me so much, bro, but they have the community voted, 7,000 people voted that 32% was SS, 61% voted S, 6% voted A to B, 1% voted A to D. You know, again, it's a community tier list, so I cannot do anything about it, but I'm actually upset. I'm putting her at the very highest of S. I'm so upset because this is a character that I easily believe should be in SS tier. This is I don't even think it's a conversation, right? What does this character have that's like making her not go from SS? Like what's holding her back that's making her not go from SS, right? She is a character who's helping out the entire team in multiple ways. Cooldown of burst skill, CDR of 7 seconds, and even at 555, right? I think it's still 4 seconds or something like that, or not 4. I think it's 5 seconds or something like that, and it's still very good. It's still very good, even at 555. But 7 seconds of cooldown reduction of the burst skill, right? A permanent attack damage buff, right? And then for the snipers, like even just the second skill alone is S. Just this second skill alone puts her in the S tier. These other 2 things will put her in the SS tier, right? Not only that, I'm sorry, chat. Y'all gonna have to forgive me with this one. I know, you guys you guys, this is a community tier list. I understand this is a community tier list, but I'm gonna have to use like a freaking golden buzzer on this one. I have to, chat. I refuse to believe that people put her in S tier, right? I'm using my golden buzzer. That's something I just made up. That was never something I have, but I'm using a golden buzzer, right? I have to, right? I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I cannot. A character that allows burst 3 characters to use their burst skill every burst rotation, right? A character that allows 40-second cooldown characters, right? Let me pull up for you something. You guys don't understand what's going on here. A character that allows 40-second burst 2 characters to use their burst skill every burst rotation, right? I didn't put out the video yet, but the next video that comes out is a showcase of me using her with Red Hood, but Red Hood only as a burst 1 and using her burst skill every turn as a burst 1. I'm sorry, y'all. For me, I gotta use the golden buzzer, bro. I'm gonna have to make something up called like the golden buzzer, where I get 1 golden buzzer a year. If I don't agree, I could just put them wherever I want to put them, bro. I'm sorry. This one is too haram for me. I'm so sorry, y'all. I just cannot accept it. Now, there's obviously comments and stuff like that, which we usually go over, but because there's 4 of them, we're not gonna go over all of them. But this one is really shocking. I'm sorry, the cooldown reduction is all it takes to put her in S, so everything else would just put her in S's, right? Her burst skill is really good. The wipeout effect, when you hurt, like, it goes target certain parts and stuff like that, and when you attack those parts, all allies have their attack buff, or they have their damage dealt when attacking the core buff, right? It's a very, very good mechanic. She's a really, really good character, y'all. I'm giving her the SS tier. I'm sorry. I know it's S, but I have to. So, yeah. It's your boy Zxous, bro. I know it's your boy Zxous, bro. I know I lost some of you guys' trust, bro. I know I lost some of you guys' trust because the community voted S tier, but I put her in SS. I just cannot accept it, chat. I'm sorry. Alrighty, I'm gonna end the video here, bro. It's your boy Zxous. Subscribe and like. I know some of y'all might be upset, but can you blame me? I think that was the craziest take I've seen to date. But yeah, it's your boy Zxous. I'm out. Peace.